with the number 1 overall pick, Jake Sherbing selects. You're going to have to wait and find out. Hello, we had a special episode for you guys today. This is the Pokemon Kanto draft. That's right, we are drafting Pokemon. We got Brian Miller and Isaac Lombard. This is the bonus episode from the video game nostalgia series of Pokemon. And I hope you guys enjoy this. This was a lot of fun. This was one of those podcasts that I, once I got the idea and we decided to do it, I was excited for it. I went all out, tried to figure out the best overall team I could draft, as well as drafting, my favorite Pokemon on top of it. So, if you guys like this, please let us know, because I want to do more of these. This is fun. Check it out. Enjoy, because I definitely did. Alright, let's do this. Cue the music! Welcome to Don't Evolve Me, the place like Ash catching Pikachu. We don't evolve, we just level up. And this is possibly a bonus episode, maybe bonus content for our actual podcast. We're doing this before our episode because when we talk Pokemon, I don't want to give away what I'm drafting. And this is the Pokemon draft, Kanto edition. Isaac, Brian, we in? We ready?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, so here's the rules of the Pokemon draft. There is 10 rounds. We can only do one legendary. When we draft for evolution sets. So, for example, if we draft Charmander, if I draft Charmander, Brian here can't draft Charmander. Or Isaac can't draft Charmander. And the idea is that Charmander will eventually evolve. It's like the NFL draft or an NBA draft or any sports draft. We draft for potential. So we draft where they're at as kids, and then we expect them to evolve. And this is to kind of go through Kanto, Elite Four, and a tournament. Make believe all. So there is no winning. It's all in our imaginations.
I'm excited. I think each of us has different Pokemon that we like.
I think so. I have one Pokemon that I really want to draft high, but I feel like one of you two might draft it.
Probably Isaac.
My sleeper Pokemon is not getting taken, so we're good.
Or is it?
It's not.
And then just a reminder too, you two are sharing a mic just to get close to it as much as possible so that our audience can hear. And I'll do some commentary here and there for the draft as well. All right, do you guys have any questions?
Nope.
All right, I just realized I don't have my pen out. All right, so we're going to do randomization, but by dice roll. So the first, so you guys can see it. So I'm not cheating. I don't know. We haven't. No. I haven't rolled it yet. It rolled Isaac's number. All right. 3, 2, 1. Brian, what pick do you want? 1, 2, or 3?
Ooh, I think I'll go with.
This is a snake draft, by the way.
Yes, I think I will go with.
No, which pick do you want?
3.
You're going third. All right.
I'll
Okay.
take top half, you take bottom half.
I'll do one. Wait, no, hold on. I'll do 1. You do 2. Ready? Ooh, I want first. You're second. Sorry, Isaac. We were talking before this with Isaac here, and he was like, "Man, number 2 is probably the worst draft pick."
Never get back to back.
That means I get first pick. This is a lot of pressure.
I mean, I kind of just want to pick Pokemon that Isaac wants now.
No, pick who you want. So this is tough because I'm like, do I go legendary right away? Because it's only we can't. So there's no Mewtwo, no Mew. That's our rules.
Yep.
And we can do legendary, but we only have 1 legendary, and there's only 3 legendaries available. So I think I'm gonna skip on the legendary for the first round. I'm picking Dratini.
Nice.
You know, not quite there yet. As for Pokemon, not quite there, but eventually it has a huge ceiling potential. Could be a monster, a huge beast when it comes to trying to beat me in a battle.
Yeah.
But you gotta train it properly, and it's a long wait. So Dratini is taken.
I'm going with the obvious number one choice.
All right.
And we're taking Charmander.
Charmander.
The best fire Pokemon in the whole game. The obvious number one starter as well.
All right. I do have a Charmander pop. I thought about doing a pop draft before, but definitely when we get a camera for this.
I forget. Do we have to pick a starter Pokemon?
No.
No, it can just be any. Okay.
No legendaries have been taken yet.
I'll actually start the legendary run. I'll go with Zapdos.
Oh, that's... Isaac has opinions. I actually like... Zapdos would probably be my first pick.
You and I are biased because we play Pokemon Go.
Is Zapdos the best one for Pokemon Go?
I think he has the best typing.
He's the best typing, I believe, for Fire Red, Leaf Green. Like if you need electric Pokemon.
I never run with Zapdos.
Isaac, what is your thoughts here? Move the mic towards you.
Zapdos is the last legendary bird I will get on Fire Red every time. I haven't even gotten him yet, and I've beaten the game.
He's the first one I got. Wait, no. No, Moltres was the first one because I accidentally ran into him. I forgot where Moltres was.
I think there is much better potential when it comes to having a Thunder Pokemon. Or a Pokemon that knows the Thunder move for Zapdos.
Oh, all right. Tip your hand. All right, Brian, with your round 2. We're already in round 1. Dratini, Charmander, and Zapdos. Right off the board. Brian can no longer draft a legendary.
I'm going to go Ghastly.
Oh.
Because Gengar is OP in the original games.
I'm jealous.
Gengar with Dream Eater. OP.
All right. Ghastly.
Oof, now I'm stuck with a tough pick here. I am... feeling like I have to go legendary here because I already tipped my hand with my first pick in Charmander, which means if I get stuck with Moltres, I'm pretty screwed.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Articuno.
You took my pick. I didn't even think about you, though. I wasn't even going defense. I just like Articuno.
The best ice Pokemon in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. There isn't another ice Pokemon that doesn't have an typing that's different. So, like, there's Jinx, but there's the Psychic type.
Dratini would be the second best to teach ice moves, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, Articuno. So that leaves me with the option of not needing a legendary for a while.
Yep, which is why I didn't want to take a legendary there, but I had to.
Yeah, because you got stuck with Moltres. Wait, you don't want 2 fire types?
No, I do not want 2 fire types.
All right, I'm really happy this man dropped. This is a man that I wanted to, or female, or woman, lady, I don't know, typings here. So I'm going to take Abra.
Very good pick. Very good pick.
Thank you. So Alakazam's like my favorite. So if I didn't take him, I'd be...
He would have been my next pick.
Ooh, okay, I'm glad I took him then.
So, good pick. Good choice.
Thank you. With my next pick, I'm going to go Squirtle.
Good choice. Very solid water Pokemon.
He's a very solid water Pokemon. If all 3 starters went into a fight, Blastoise arguably might be the winner.
Blastoise is tough to beat.
You got the Ice type. No Mega, unfortunately, but Charizard, I think, definitely takes the hand when it comes to Megas. So I'm going to take Squirtle, because Squirtle, Abra, Dratini, yeah, I'm pretty happy with my first 3.
Yeah, that is a solid spot to be in. And
if these 2 guys drop to me, I'm going to be so happy.
I think...
Steal them from you, Isaac.
Oof, I'm in a tough
There's
choice
pressure
here.
on Isaac. Brian's over here like, oh, I hope they drop, I hope they drop, and Isaac.
Yeah.
The toughest choice is to make the right pick. You know, we're trying to build the most competitive roster. And I have my fire, 2 flying type already with Charizard and Articuno.
Yep.
I think we're gonna ground it out here. I think we're gonna go with Bulbasaur.
I like the pick. You know, underrated as a starter for sure. You can make the argument that he's the best starter when it comes to overall types. I know Charmander, you say Charizard is the best fire type, but I feel like there's a lot of other fire types to be had.
There are fire types to be had. I like the move set that I can create with Charizard over some of the other
That's fair.
fire Pokemon.
So Bulbasaur. All right, Brian.
All right, back-to-back championship picks right here. Snorlax.
Ooh. Going with the Snorlax.
Garbage pick, but okay.
He is a tank, and he can learn so many different moves. He's so good. And my next pick, Lapras.
Lapras is a solid pick. I really like
Lapras is
a
good.
lot.
They're high on my. Lapras and Snorlax are both high on my list.
Snorlax wouldn't touch, but Lapras, you can teach Ice Beam, you can teach Surf. I think Lapras can learn Thunder.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Lapras is solid. Very good pick. I like Lapras.
I forget all the TMs that Snorlax could learn back in the old games.
Well,
He could
I
learn
just
quite a
went
few.
through it, so Snorlax has not been touched yet as far as leveling up. 'Cause I think he's overrated. He is just a tank. He does allow you to take a couple hits with pretty much all Pokemon, so you can max revive your losers already. So it does provide some benefit there.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, we'll halfway through. We'll look at our teams that we have so far.
Oof! Now it's back to me, right?
Yeah, we're on round 4.
Round
Pick
4.
11. Brian just took Snorlax and Lapras.
And I'm sitting with Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Articuno.
Yep.
Oof. Getting stuck in the middle really sucks.
It's not bad. You're a pretty solid team.
I think God, I got a lot of flying going on. I think we're gonna go with a guy that tends to give me a lot of fits when it comes to beating the final 4. And we're gonna go with Aerodactyl.
Ooh, I actually thought you were going to take, yeah.
I think Rock is tough. Really only vulnerable to water. So,
Water, ice.
right, but I already have Articuno, so
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
All right. Aerodactyl. Actually, it's a good pick. I was thinking about taking him in the next one, which means I'm up. So, all right.
In the first gen of games, Rock Slide is a super good move,
Yeah.
and Earthquake is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Aerodactyl's a tough match. He's also just intimidating because this is like a real world. Aerodactyl.
Yeah, just,
Terrifying. You're definitely going with the flying types here. Like
he's gonna claw your eyes out.
Yeah.
And he's not like weak like the other ones because he's solid. He's a solid rock flying monster.
Yeah,
So you got water, you got ice, and this is basically the only two that really have any effect on him. There was, when we did Pokemon Go, there was like the Flying Cup. Aerodactyl was like my main mon. Because there's like not a lot of flying types I could beat him. Alright, so I'm up next. And I don't know if this is going to be a popular choice. This might be a reach here. But I'm going to go with the male Nidoran. Because Nidoking's just a beast in these games.
Nidoqueen is solid, high health,
Nidoqueen or Nidoking?
both. I
I-
really like both.
I always
think
like-
Queen is better.
You think Queen's better? I always like Nidoking. They're both the same. It's just the movesets on them.
Yeah,
And also just a 5-foot beast of a Mon.
I
we can get there.
carry a Nidoking to teach all of my strength, surf, rock smash too. It's my anchor Pokemon typically.
All right, so this is actually kind of surprised at this month. My next pick, we're in round 5 now, pick 13. A little surprised that this one fell. And I'm going to take it. Eevee.
I thought that was going to be your last round. Your last set of picks.
My
I
last
thought
set
you
of
were going
picks?
With Eevee there.
Abra and Squirtle, I can't not say no to them. But I'm going Eevee for versatility here.
That's fair.
Versatility, I'm probably going to be Moltres last pick. A little unfair in that aspect of it.
Yeah, yep.
Might as well take advantage of the rules that we set up and created.
Agreed.
So I don't need a fire type. Don't really need a water type. Jolteon's a great pick, but there's also the other evolutions that might be a little difficult to get in this region, but they're still out there. As one big one, Umbreon. There's not a lot of dark types. Actually, I don't think there is a single dark type in Kanto.
There's not. I'm looking through the whole list right now. There is no dark.
It was introduced in Gen 2.
Yep.
All right.
Gengar is considered ghost and poison.
Yeah.
Which is kind of strange.
It really is.
There's one other ice type. 2 other ice types, actually.
There's a few. They're on my list.
Yep.
Ice types are really valuable if you didn't get Dratini. All right, Isaac, you're up. Round 5.
I think this is going to be a reach,
Okay.
but I think I have to do it because this guy carried me back in high school.
Is this your pick that is like the surprise sleeper
This is my pick. Yeah, nobody would understand this pick unless they remember.
All right.
it.
I feel like I know what it is because I've heard you talk about this.
Drum roll.
You probably remember that.
Drum roll. All right.
We're gonna go with Clefairy.
Clefairy. All right.
Clefable is a tank.
Yep.
It
Yep.
will just eat moves. It
Well,
can
you're going
learn-
Cleffa, by the way.
Sure.
But it's fine. It's,
Yep.
not a lot of potential, right? Or a lot of potential. Very underrated, very sleeper move. But fairies, this is now a Fairymon,
Yeah.
which changes the game a lot.
Clefable just he will eat your moves. He can hit you with thunder. He can learn earthquake. He's just solid all around.
I like
Crystal
it.
flying type.
I think Clefable is very underrated when it comes to
Very
Kanto.
underrated.
And it's one of those people. It's one of those mons that they don't really expect.
People were shocked when I threw Clefable out.
And then they got their ass
They had
kicked.
no idea what was coming.
All right, Brian, we're going to wrap up round 5 in the first half of this Pokemon Kanto draft. And then we'll lead off the second half with your pick after we recap.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time thinking of who I should pick here.
It gets harder.
Yeah.
So we're going backups now. We're still doing our starters.
So part of our goal here is to make a really strong starting 6, and then we have backups, huh?
Yep. So, like, for example, if you're going against, if you're running through the Kanto League and you're going against, let's say, Blaine, you probably don't want your fire types there. Maybe you do. You definitely don't want your grass types. You can switch them out. Or if you can pick a certain squad against Isaac or me here and try to counterbalance what they think you're going to play. It's a whole lot of mind games that will
Right.
never play out. But it's a fun imagination. All right. We're at the 15th pick. Brian Miller is on the clock.
Yeah, I think I just have to go with like a staple here. And he's just like really strong, so I'm gonna go with Machop.
Ooh, going Machop.
Wow.
Yep.
I did not see that coming.
No?
That's a surprise pick.
Surprise. A reach, though, was it? Do you think?
Not on my draft board.
Not
Not on my draft board.
like you forgot about him, or
I'm looking at the whole list right now. Would not have taken him.
He's
It
just-
excluded him 3 times.
He's someone that's like not exciting and just like so common, but like really strong Pokemon.
the Machamp is, very, very scary when you face him in battle. The 4 arms, the pure mass.
Yeah. He's probably the strongest fighting Pokemon in the 151.
I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah. I would agree. but there's a lot of normal, but we're not doing a whole lot of normal. Also a good take for you because you have Snorlax and Lapras.
A lot of health.
Yep.
No, it's a lot of health, but also, who beats Snorlax and Lapras?
We'll see.
Hitmonchan. No, not Hitmonchan. Well, Hitmonchan does, but like
Yeah.
Machamp. Machamp is like the biggest one that.
Right.
Ooh, I think Jake just tipped a pick there.
Yep. I got one more pick here still.
Well, we're gonna recap
All right.
rosters.
So recap. Round 1. I took Dratini. Isaac took Charmander. Brian took Zapdos. Round 2, Brian took Ghastly. Isaac took Articuno. And I happily took Abra. Round 3, I took Squirtle. Isaac took Bulbasaur. Brian took Snorlax. Round 4, Brian took Lapras. Isaac took Aerodactyl. And I took the male version of Nidoran. And in round 5, I took Eevee. Isaac took Cleffa. And Brian took Machop. So when we look at the teams, I have Dratini, Abra, Squirtle, male Nidoran, and Eevee. Brian here has Zapdos, Ghastly, Snorlax, Lapras, and Machop. Isaac has Charmander, Articuno, Bulbasaur, Aerodactyl, and Cleffa. All right, how are you guys feeling about your teams?
I feel really good about my team. I'm a little jealous that you got like the only dragon type, but
So I took him number 1
yep,
pick.
number 1 overall, 101. Yep.
Yeah, Dratini is solid. Dragonite always gives me troubles.
It's one of the top Pokemon for a reason.
Yeah.
Pseudo legendary, just should be just a legendary
Yeah,
at this
should,
point.
should just be. Yeah, you don't need to have him in a separate class. He's a legendary Pokemon.
Well, he is technically a pseudo legendary.
Technically, yeah.
I feel the same way about Lapras. That's why I picked him.
Yep.
Lapras is up there, but I wouldn't say they're on the same tier as Dragonite. Dragonite's one of those, like, if you were to take a Dragonite, Moltres, Zapdos, or Articuno, and those are the top 4.
Oh, I'm taking Dragonite out of those 4.
Or, Dratini. I'm probably taking Dratini. Like,
Yeah.
downright just better than all 3 of them.
I agree. Dratini has the ability, or Dragonite has the ability to learn
Yeah.
all those moves, and that's the tough part to deal with.
Yeah, you don't know what moveset you're going to deal with when a Dragonite
Right.
pulls up. Probably not going to have a Dragon type move on there.
Right.
Probably going to have an Ice type. Probably have Thunder. Probably going to have... I don't know about the other 2.
Yeah, solid all around.
All right. Isaac, how are you feeling about your team?
I love my team. You know, I think we went to the skies a little bit, but
No pun intended.
I'm feeling
Pun intended.
solid.
Yeah.
I think this back half is really going to set the teams apart.
I think so. Brian?
I think so too, and I think I'm going to start it off with a little bit of a surprise pick here.
Oh, we're going super... Well, yeah, it's the surprise round.
This is my 6th guy, so this is the last spot
Alright.
in my starting team, I think.
All right. Well, hold on 1 second. I feel like... Because I want to talk about my team a little bit. I'm definitely happy with who I have with my team. They're definitely a Pokemon that I just enjoy having. I mean, Dratini, Dragonite is like the definite like number 1 pick. But Abra, Squirtle, they're like my favorites for a reason. Male Nidoran, Nidoking, potential, love it. And then Eevee's just so versatile that you don't know where that Eevee's gonna go.
I feel like Eevee's a bit of a reach, mainly because the evolution forms aren't as strong of types as other Pokemon you can get in those types. That's why I was holding off on Eevee. I probably would have taken Eevee in like the 7th round.
Might have been a reach, but I like the idea of either if I don't get certain types,
Sure.
I can
having the flexibility.
you know,
That's
like it might be tough getting a Glaceon, but that could be a nice type. And when you put Glaceon in the mix, it might be other than Articuno might be the best ice type. Jolteon is arguably the best electric type. If you minus Zapdos.
Yeah, that could be fair.
And then Sylveon is arguably the best fairy type. Because there's only Clefable.
Oh, there's another fairy.
Is there another fairy?
Yeah.
My mind's... Okay. I forget who the other fairy is, if there is. Anyway, let's move on to the later half of the Kanto Pokemon draft. We have Brian up next with the 16th pick, round 6.
All right, so here's my thought process here. So I got I have an electric Pokemon, a ghost Pokemon, a normal Pokemon in Snorlax, and a water ice Pokemon, and then a fighting Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So my thought process was go fire here, but I don't think fire matches up really strong against a lot of different things. So here's the surprise pick. I'm going to go with Onyx.
Ooh, Onyx. Okay.
You know?
A little bit of a surprise. Definitely scary. As you bring that out in the battlefield, it's like, oh damn, there's an Onyx right there. It's screaming at you.
He's a tank.
He is. A lot of weaknesses though.
Yep. Yeah, and
not fire, water, grass, fighting, ground, ice too.
Ice, yep.
Steel. Yeah, they got 6 weaknesses.
Well,
But there is potential.
Yes, lots of potential. See, I just thought of this. So he's one of the only guys that you could potentially evolve into a steel type. Steelix.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it'd be tough.
Yeah. All right. Isaac, you're up next.
Oof. I think I got to go with the guy who is trash at the very beginning until you can get him evolved. And I'm really happy Brian did not take my pick here.
This is definitely a sleeper pick. This is one that a lot of people sleep on.
Yeah.
You know,
I assume we're talking the same
high potential. High potential, but definitely has a low floor. Definitely has a huge bust rate. If you can't get it there where it needs to be.
If you don't get him there, he's not doing anything for you.
Probably tastes delicious.
Probably, I agree. It's very tasty. A little salt, maybe some mayo, tartar sauce, depending on your flavor.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna go with Magikarp.
Yeah.
You really like your flying types here, don't you?
I mean, I like Pokemon that generally only have 1 or 2 weaknesses.
Yep.
So if we can take down the first guy, we're set. We're smooth sailing because now we get to match up with our other 5 against what you throw out. So winning that first battle is crucial.
So this is tough for me because I have definitely on my. So another one that I'm thinking of, who is in my list. Wait, who did I mark here? That's in here. I don't know what I wrote here. Well, that's unfortunate. I added a little. I'm trying to think who I want next. There's so many choices. Because I think you took the. I had a tier list, and you took the last one in the tier list. Outside of the one scribble that I cannot read, and I can't think about who I have, who that scribble is. Looking at my pops here, I'm like, I need some motivation, need some searching in. I like Growlithe. He's definitely still up there. Same with Vulpix, but there's a Moltres with my last pick, and it's kind of a little bit of overkill. I'm gonna go with Brian. You kind of tipped my hand here. You gave me an idea, some inspiration. I'm taking Scyther with my 18th pick.
Yo, I just thought of that too.
Because Scizors is definitely a problem to deal with. Bug type doesn't have his advantage, but Steel does. Yep. He's going to struggle against the Charizard. Brian, do you even have a fire type? I don't think you do.
No, not in my starting 6.
All right, round 7, pick 19. I'm stalling a little bit because I'm trying to think who I even want here. Who was that scribble? I am trying to figure it out. They might have been taken. Ooh, this is where it comes down to. Ooh, no, I know what I want to do. I want to do Elekid. Slept on. Electabuzz isn't the greatest, but Electivire. If there's a how, the top level of Elekid could potentially be disastrous for the opposing teams. If we can reach that top level. This is like the Ben Simmons pick, Low floor, but a high ceiling. Hopefully he'll make the layup in the playoff game. I don't know.
Probably pass on it. We'll probably let that one go. Yeah.
All right, so I have Elekid.
The positive about having even just Electabuzz is that he can learn like the punch moves.
Yep.
All right, I gotta pull my list back up here. We're getting in the weeds here, but man, I think I gotta go with a classic. It's gonna be tough to pass on this guy.
Well, is it a flying theme? Are you sticking with the flying theme?
No,
is it Pidgey?
We're moving on. Man, Pidgey. He carries a special spot in my heart. But you know, Ash would be disappointed if I didn't go with our little buddy Pikachu.
Oh, that is classic. That is classic. All right, Pikachu. I was wondering if he was going to be in this draft.
Rolling Thunder. The reason I really like Pikachu
Okay, so yeah, the psychic or the electric types.
Yes, and Thunderbolt is a very underrated move. It's a guaranteed hit. Thunder is awesome. However, you know, there's that chance you miss, and giving a free shot away isn't good. I'd rather deal 60% damage right off the bat. So, yep, we're going with Pikachu here.
Okay.
Are you going to evolve him?
Of course I'm going to evolve him.
Oh, no.
Thunderstone is used. All right, Brian, round 7. Pick 21, and then we'll go to round 8 with pick 28.
All right, so these are two of my favorite Pokemon. Especially from the original 151.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Poliwag.
Literally going to say his name.
Ooh, Poliwag. I enjoy Poliwag. He was on my list. He was a thought.
Yeah.
I have Squirtle. You're definitely taking away those fighting types, aren't you?
Poliwag into Poliwrath is just so versatile. Like, earlier in his, younger stage, he can learn, the moves that confuse you.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually when he turns into Poliwrath, he learns the fighting moves, and he's water type. So
it's fair.
He's solid.
I agree. Good pick.
My next pick is going to be Vulpix. Because I think Ninetales is just beautiful. And again, has the potential to have, some of the psychic moves carry over from Vulpix, like Infuse Ray or something like that. And then also can hit you with the strong fire type moves.
All right.
All right, we are getting deep into the list here.
A little bit.
We're gonna go with slightly underrated, in my opinion.
Wait, I feel like I know who this is, and I remember my scribble, and I really hope you're not picking my scribble, man.
Ooh, is it a long scribble? We are going to go with. Man, I audible. We just changed our mind mid pick.
Hey, that happens.
Yep.
That happens during the draft, you know.
We're gonna follow up our Pikachu with Magnemite.
Ooh, that is a low.
We're gonna add in some steel here.
Yep.
I forgot about him.
He is a
with
steel
some
type.
thunder.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe a bit of a reach, but I think the guy I wanted will fall.
I don't know
So
if this is a reach.
The Magnemite pick?
I don't know, because Magnezone, right? Is kind of beastly. He's like Electivire, but with the steel type name.
Yo. I completely forgot about Magnemite. He was actually one that I would use a lot because I would usually always have the one guy that could do explosion and just kamikaze himself to take someone out.
You got to have that guy.
Yep.
There's some guys that you don't feel great getting over, like a Dragonite. Sometimes you just got to sacrifice one and move on to the next.
Yeah.
And then Lance will whip out another one on you, and then you're screwed.
Or like, your Magneton gets down to like 5 health, explosion.
Yep.
Okay, so I have a lot of pressure here at the round 8. Because my round 10 is pretty much set. Like, it's a must pick.
Yeah, your 10 was determined after round 2, which is a really good spot to be in.
So right now I'm like, do I want to take away Pokemon or do I... There's 3 that I have in mind. And there is overlap here. I figured out what my scribble is, and I'm actually surprised this Mon dropped. I'm very, very surprised. Definitely an overlap on my part. But you know what? Overlap in this department is actually not bad. Because there is not a lot of counters for this typing. I'm going to take Execute.
Not a lot of counters. He's grass.
He's grass. But
burn him to the ground.
You can burn him to the ground. But I'm saying is Psychic type. That's my counter.
He's solid. I really like the Psychic type. That was my pick until I switched.
I know. Like, when you said long scribble, I was like, damn it is a long scribble. Do not take him. Then you're like, I'm an audible. I'm like, good. Do not take Executor. So round 9 is tough for me because there's a few Mons that have a lot more potential that I feel like you guys don't even know. And I want to take away from you guys. But there's also a few other picks I'm like, oh, they would just be good for my team. Solid. So I think I'm gonna go the solid route. I'm gonna take Kangaskhan.
Nice.
I need a tank. I don't really have a tank other than Dragonite. Versatile. Can be tough. You don't know what Kangaskhan's gonna throw at you. And the only thing that beats it is a fighting type, which Brian has. So
Agreed.
all right. I'm pretty much done with this draft.
Are we in round 9?
We're in round 9.
Round 9.
You have 2 picks left.
All right. Round 9. I feel like my roster hasn't dropped off too much, which is really, really helpful. There was some mention of no fighting Pokemon, so I might have to make a decision here.
Fighting type is good to have.
I feel like you need to have one. You don't need 2. One's enough.
Well, one's good for Brian. If you're fighting Brian.
It's just, who do I want? Do I want some big arms or some big legs?
Do you want the Jackie Chan reference or the Bruce Lee reference?
That's really what it comes down to.
Do you want the punch moves or do you want the cooler looking Mon?
I think there's something to be had about Hitmonchan. And that's going to be my pick. I like teaching him Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Fire Punch. Mm-hmm. And add a little bit of those ancillary effects, Yeah. I'm going to hit you in the face, but I'm also going to freeze you at the same time. Comes in very handy to slow down the opposition.
Very underrated Mon. I was always a Hitmonlee person. But I like Jackie Chan more. I grew up with Jackie Chan. I didn't grow up with Bruce Lee. Hitmonlee always just looked cooler for me. But Hitmonchan always had the different moves that you can teach him.
Yep.
So the kid version was oh yeah, Hitmonlee. The adult in me is well yeah, Hitmonchan is probably a bit more useful. All right, Isaac took Hitmonchan, and now Brian, you have your last 2 picks to end round 9 and start round 10, the last.
Yeah, this is really tough because there's kind of some utility Pokemon here that I have to choose between.
That was unexpected. That was a Jinx cry from the Fire Red.
Just trying to tell Jinx wants to be taken.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx is available to you. Or I guess Smoochum is available to you.
Jinx is very available.
Wait, also Connor, you didn't get Pikachu, by the way, Isaac. You got Pichu.
Sure.
I forget that Pikachu. There's a baby form of Pikachu,
Sure.
which I never understood that move on their end.
I think I have to follow up with my previous conversation that I had about the Pokemon that can kamikaze. So I'll go Geodude.
Ooh, underrated.
You know, he's
I
really.
thought you were going a different route there.
Or you're thinking I can't think of Voltorb.
Yeah. Yep,
I mean,
he's the
Voltorb
one.
is like the self-destruct Pokemon.
Well, yeah, he's the one.
Yeah,
He's
yep.
the guy.
He's the one that you would try to go through the power plant. You just knock your guys out.
Yep.
And then for my last pick, I think I gotta go a little bit of a nostalgia pick here, and just a Pokemon that can help you catch the strong guys when you need to. So I'm gonna go Caterpie.
I knew it.
Caterpie. Oh, all
You
right.
gotta poison. You gotta sleep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I'm surprised that Caterpie made it into this draft. I thought Caterpie was going undrafted. Not even, Mr. Irrelevant or Irrelevant.
He comes in so handy
Yeah.
when you're trying to catch, Articuno and Zapdos.
Yep.
If you don't have a way to give them an ailment, you can have them down to 1 health and go through 99 Ultra Balls and you're not touching them.
Yeah.
They're going to break free every time.
You gotta be able to put them to sleep or paralyze them.
Yep, you just got to let them run into your Raichu and hopefully
Right.
they paralyze themselves.
Yep.
It's brutal. It's brutal. We've got one final pick.
One final pick for Mr. Isaac here.
And this comes back to the days of high school tournament as well. Doing a throwback. We're going with my buddy, Diglett.
Diglett. That's another one I'm surprised by.
Earthquake. Such an underrated
yeah.
move. Dig.
Yep.
Escapes your first hit every time because his speed is through the roof.
Doug Trio has his place.
He is. You think your Snorlax is set? Boom.
Dig.
Get upset.
I like it. I wasn't expecting Diglett. So here's the ones, or I guess I gotta make my final pick.
Yep. I wish we had 2 more rounds. There's people I left on the board that I really like.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it. All right. Well, I'm gonna take Moltres. That'd be the biggest upset.
It's probably the biggest gift you got, though, in the whole draft.
Yeah, just
Because as soon as 2 were gone and my hand is tipped, I have to go Articuno in round 2 there. Gives you a free 8 picks before you have to take a legendary.
so there are some definitely some upsets here that weren't taken. Oh, I didn't even think about this dude. I forgot about him. I thought about it in the mid draft. I'm like, I don't need him, but I will like. Zubat's underrated.
Yes.
Not a fan.
Zubat is underrated not because of Golbat, because of Crobat. Crobat is probably one of the most underrated mons because it's so quick, pretty good attack, and has a very diverse moveset.
Yep.
He's always in my Heart Gold, Soul Silver playthrough,
Yeah.
and I even had him in my Brilliant Diamond playthrough. So Zubat is one of the underrated ones, undrafted ones.
Just looked up Crobat's weaknesses. Psychic, Rock, Electric, and Ice.
Yeah.
It's too many weaknesses to me.
There's a lot of weaknesses.
He's kind of
Falls hard.
to me. He was always kind of like a utility Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like if you need someone to come in and do a quick shot to take out that last 10 health points, or you need someone to come in, attack first and confuse, or maybe put to sleep. I think he might know Hypnosis or Ken.
I don't remember.
But he also can learn Poison type, which in the newer generations of Pokemon has its strengths.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the weaker types, but if you're not prepared for it, it can surprise you.
Yep.
Another one I have on the list, not the strongest, but definitely one out. I wanted to take him, but as soon as Moltres dropped, I wasn't going to take him. Growlithe.
Growlithe, yeah.
Yeah.
Arcanine's solid.
Yeah.
For sure weakness, obviously, but he can do some damage.
Solid fire type, but once you already have your fire type, it's like not a lot of diversity.
Yeah, you don't really ever need 2 fire types.
He's just a solid fire type.
Yeah.
If you didn't take or Charmander, if you didn't have Moltres, Brian, you took Vulpix. So after that, it's like, well, I don't need.
Which I think is a bad pick compared to Growlithe. Arcanine is superior to Ninetales.
I agree.
Ninetales is a much better looking
Yes.
Pokemon.
I don't know. Arcanine is beautiful too.
Arcanine is one of my favorites, but I decided to go with the Vulpix route.
That's fair.
All right. Do you guys have any other
I really wanted to take Chansey.
Ooh,
Chansey is one of my favorite Pokemon.
Tank.
The hardest Pokemon
Oh,
to catch.
I forgot. I
in
should.
Safari Zone.
I should have done Chansey over Kangaskhan because
Yeah.
because getting Blissey, who's even more of a tank than Chansey.
Yeah.
I remember spending road trips, 4-hour, 6-hour drives trying to catch Chansey in the Safari Zone as my battery is dying on my Game Boy Color. Not even Game Boy Color, Game Boy with the light. Pre-Game Boy Color.
Oh,
So
okay.
tough. Chansey was hard.
Chansey is difficult.
Yeah, I feel like the newer Pokemon games, like, they don't make it like the struggle that it was to catch those Safari Pokemon.
Yeah. We'll save it though. We're talking about the draft now. We have a whole other podcast to do that hopefully these listeners already listened to. This draft was 45 minutes long. It's its own episode. All right. So Chansey's definitely one. Ooh, I just looked up female Nidoran.
Yeah.
Yep.
We all talked about Nidoran, and then we're all like, oh yeah, female Nidoqueen, beast, and then I feel like we just forgot about it. Brian, do you have one for us?
Like an underrated one, I would say.
I have one more, but I want you guys to go ahead.
I would say an underrated one that wasn't drafted is probably Rhyhorn.
Rhyhorn, yeah.
He does have the potential to eventually evolve into Rhyperior, who, again, is also just a tank. Oh, and then I just saw one too, but I'll let you say yours first.
Okay. Was it Horsey?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. I'm like, man, I don't think they'll think of Horsey.
Horsey, Seadra, Sea King.
Kingdra.
Kingdra.
Yep.
Kingdra turned into a dragon. That's a tough one. Water dragon. Ice doesn't even beat it.
No.
That's just Clefable would.
I'm trying to think what he's even weak to. Yeah, I don't think he has a lot of weaknesses.
No, well, he wouldn't be weak to.
If he's going with the dragon and water typing,
He'd be electric would be neutral, ice would be neutral,
maybe grass,
maybe grass. Yeah,
fairy,
fairy for sure. Fairy's like how you would beat it,
and dragon type.
and yeah, dragon type. So that's another one, and then for the ice effect, because I feel like ice is very underrated and much needed. I'm gonna throw in there Shelter. He's on my list.
Yep.
Cloyster, a little bit of a tank. Lots of weaknesses though.
Yeah, it just gets torched by thunder.
Yeah. But there's a few other ones. Grimer, Muck. Maybe this is because of the anime. Muck was just a beast in the anime.
Right.
I like Vileplume, but I feel like just outclassed by a bunch of other. Same with Bellsprout.
Yeah.
Just outclassed.
I had a hard time taking a grass Pokemon outside of, like, if I had the opportunity to take Bulbasaur, I would have taken him in, like, round 3 or 4 or whatever, but honestly, my team doesn't have grass, but I'm okay with that.
Another one that's underrated is Tentacruel.
Yeah.
Water poison. But there's a bunch. It's outclassed by the other water types or poison types.
Right. I feel like it could be, like, the top of its tier, but, like, the guys at the higher tiers are just going to outmuscle it.
And then you have Ponyta.
Yep.
Which is one of those, why are you taking Ponyta when you have Growlithe? or you have Vulpix or Charmander available, or in my case, Moltres at the end of the draft. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. I don't think so. I mean, I feel like Jinx is underrated.
Starmie is very solid as well.
Yeah, Starmie's good. I never pick Staryu for the fact that there's just so many other good water types, and I always pick Squirtle. So like,
Yep.
You pick Squirtle, it's like, well, do we need Starmie?
Does Tauros evolve
No.
later? No.
No, Tauros is one of those.
Except for they have like variations now, like Galarian.
Yeah. No, Paldea.
Paldea.
Yeah, there's like 3 Paldean like variations.
Kabutops is an interesting
Yeah.
rock and water.
He's a cool one.
It's where you need grass.
I have a question for you guys. Have you ever trained up a Porygon and used it? Because I feel like Porygon is one that can learn like almost any move.
He's a normal Pokemon, so
I forget that it does that. Porygon, what can you learn? Not a whole lot when it comes to.
How do you get Porygon in the original games?
you have to trade for him.
Yeah. Oh no, or you can go to the game
You can
zone.
buy him at the game zone.
Yes. Yep.
He doesn't learn a lot of moves, but he can TM. You can TM.
Yeah.
So I mean, Porygon's an interesting choice.
He's
He's
kind of
versatile.
An under the radar guy.
He's under the radar, I think, for good reason though.
Yeah.
All right. So last question. Out of us three, who wins? All right.
Well, I think we're all going to be biased.
So I'm gonna make a rule.
Definitely my team.
I'm gonna make a rule. You can't pick your own team. You got to pick the other two team.
Well, this also doesn't work because Brian has a bias against me, so
Yeah, but he also has bias against me.
not as much.
That's fair. Brian, acknowledge your biases and pick.
Can I see the lists again?
I can do that. I can do that.
You will not be able to read my handwriting.
I'll be fine.
And I also just wrote my
I
list.
have mine. I have it written down on my phone.
Oh, you did them in order, mostly. You spelled execute way wrong. Jesus.
I'm a millennial, okay? Leave me alone.
All right, so
Zapdos also has a Y in his name. Where you been?
Zapdos doesn't have a Y.
Pretty sure.
no, it doesn't. It's just Zapdos. What is it? Zabudos?
I
Zapdos.
swore he did.
Zabudos.
Oh, maybe I'm the idiot. That's okay.
Gyarados.
I thought you were making fun of him for putting a Y in there. I was like, okay, that's
Gyarados
fine.
does. That's right.
Does Gyarados have? Oh,
Yeah.
it does. I actually really like your team, Brian. It's a tough one because let's assume that all the final evolutions finish up. Zapdos, Gengar, Snorlax, Lapras, Machamp, Steelix. If you do Steelix, like your first 5 is like, ooh.
I think the hardest part about this, or what we should think about, is who's the first Pokemon that you put out.
If Brian doesn't do Zapdos,
That's gonna be the determining factor here, because who you throw out first determines where you are in next Pokemon thrown out.
that is a very
Because I get told what you're throwing out, right? So
Yep.
my starter generally has been Charizard. I run my Charizard with Flamethrower, Slash, and Wing Attack. So you throw out your Zapdos, and I'm gonna burn him to the ground.
But you're weak against electric.
Charizard's not weak against electric, is he?
he's a flying type.
Yeah.
That's when they added the flying type. He's definitely allergic to weak to.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing too. Are we going based off of
Oh, we're going now rules.
now rules?
Now rules, but like in the whole like if we're in Kanto, it's hard to get like
Right. Yeah.
like megas exist, but megas aren't allowed.
Yeah.
Z moves exist, but they're not allowed.
Yeah.
If you want to go Gigantamax or Dynamax, wherever, like how it's worked out. It's not allowed in Kanto.
Right.
I think Charizard has a versatile enough skill set, and I think he has enough health that he could take your Thunder hit, and your Thunder has to hit. That's the hard part with Zapdos. Is Thunder has to hit.
Yeah.
If Thunder misses, you lose that fight. And now you're trying to play catch up. However, you do have a very tanky team.
Yep.
I think I have enough to get through the tanky team.
Wait, what was your last pick, Isaac?
My last pick was Diglett. I've got all the bases covered. I can take on your fighting. I think the one of yours that's going to give me the most trouble is Lapras.
Lapras is going to be tough. Lapras and a Snorlax is going to be tough.
Yeah, Snorlax I don't view as aggressive.
Yeah.
Snorlax is the defensive Pokemon you have. But he can take a couple hits, which if you can max revive your Zapdos and
Whatever the rules would be
whatever
in a
else
real.
Right, sure.
I don't know what the rules would be in like a real. Because in the anime, I never see them run out and be like, here's a potion. I feel like that's
Right.
That's
So
true.
that's gonna be the tough part.
Rest is going to be a killer.
Does Rest have a 1 turn delay?
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
So then I get 2 more shots. I don't know. I like my team, but if I had to pick between the two of you, I'm going Jake's team.
Okay.
Dratini is just solid.
It's going to be tough. His Lapras is definitely going to be... Like, we're both going to have moves that can take out each other. Lapras and Dragonite. But what do you have... Alakazam's going to be a beast, though. He's kind of a glass cannon if you can get him.
Yeah.
But there's not... what moves do you have? You have Gengar, who can potentially take him out.
Yeah, ghost type.
But
meter.
But here's the thing: if I hit him once, he's dead.
Right, Gengar.
Yeah.
Lapras is
very vulnerable. Lapras, I think, is going to be one of the more difficult ones to deal with.
Another thing to think about with Gengar, though, is he cannot be hit by certain moves. You have to use special moves.
Yeah, but with Alakazam, it's nothing but special moves.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like my Nidoran or Nidoking would be tough just because he's such a diverse Pokemon.
Yeah, I like Jake's team.
All right. Brian, do you want to go or should I go?
I can go next.
All right.
So, based on the typing of my team...
Well, you gotta go choose between me and Isaac.
Well, we have to pick who we're starting with our lead Pokemon, right?
Yeah, I mean that changes every battle.
I said
though.
it just depends.
Yeah.
You know.
It's part of the strategy. It's like the biggest strategy point. And I feel like the anime, at least in the beginning anime, they don't really talk about who you start out with. Is
Right.
When I was looking at your two teams, I think your obvious start is Zapdos.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not, but you're not starting with Lapras, I don't think, and I don't think you're starting with Snorlax.
I think, based on the typing, I think my strongest typings are either Zapdos, who's electric and flying, or Onix, who is steel. I think I'd probably...
You mean Steelix if you can get that. If you can get
Steelix, yep. Steelix, sorry.
If you start with Steelix, that makes things a lot harder.
Yeah.
I'll just start Moltres. Rock Slide.
I think initially I was thinking I'd probably start with Zapdos, but I think I'll start with Steelix because he's like a tier lower. So I'll start with my weaker guy who's not weak against too many things.
I feel like my team's versatile enough where I don't think I need a set starter. I feel like I could just throwing out a Dragonite, not the most ideal, but he throws everything into a wrench right away, and he's versatile enough to take out whatever you have.
Right.
Steelix is weak to ground, fighting, fire, and water.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would. Yeah, I guess.
The tough part is you're immediately starting behind the 8 ball then.
Right.
Whoever can keep their first Pokemon alive the longest, typically is going to win the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd probably be Zapdos would be the better choice then.
I think so. Which is where I would probably throw a Dragonite for a lot of them. Because, like, if you start out with Zapdos, Dragonite just seems like he can handle both. If I have a water move in there, boom, Steelix is...
Right. And my Steelix would get torched against Charizard.
Yeah. So...
Dragonite's weaknesses are Rock, Fairy, Ice, and Dragon. Like, none of us are starting one of those 4 types of Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, against Jake's team, Dragonite's just going to be... He's going to have the counter, most likely, to your Pokemon. And you're not going to have the answer for Dragonite. So you're immediately going to start in the hole.
Yeah.
And then you have to throw in a counter that's... Like, you can take out your Pokemon right away, but who are you going to throw in? Lapras?
To take out Dragonite?
Well, then you give up another free hit to the
I have a free hit.
Dragonite.
Yeah.
It's...
Assuming that you go first.
Well, if you swap out right away, then he does.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, Brian. Between me and Isaac.
I have to look through your teams here quick.
I don't know if I've ever played through the game. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Save it. This could have been its own episode. The Pokemon Draft. Kanto Edition.
It is fun.
It is a lot of fun.
I'm going to have to play Gold or Silver next. And then
Yeah. Do you have a 3DS?
I have an emulator.
Fair.
I can play things at 4 times speed.
I will say I bought Yellow for the 3DS, and it doesn't have 2 times speed.
Oh no!
It was so hard to play through because it's
I
like,
couldn't do it.
you know, just like
We'll
like I was like,
we'll talk about it later. We'll talk
okay,
about it later.
we'll talk about it later. That's fair.
We're just trying to fill time because Brian's trying to decide.
Brian, make a decision, man.
I think I have...
It's not that important.
Dragonite is a really good Pokemon, but, like, I just know that, like, with my experiences playing, like, Pokemon Go, I know that's not quite what we're doing here, but...
This is more D&D like than...
Yeah.
If we're making any type of comparisons, it's more D&D.
I mean, we both have Pokemon that can eventually take him out. Like, he's weak against Ice, he's weak against Rock, he's weak against Dragon. I think I gotta go with Isaac's team. Because I think Charizard, Articuno, I mean, he's gonna have us Blastoise.
No, I'm gonna have Venusaur.
Or a Venusaur, I meant, yep. So, okay, so...
Charizard,
Articuno, Venusaur. I think that's a very strong...
Aerodactyl, who is rock as well.
I'm not too high on Aerodactyl, but...
Ancient power.
Clefable is also really good.
Clefable would be a good one to go against Dragonite if you can get him out then. Because I don't like...
I'm probably gonna go down 1 right away. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna lose my Charizard, which is gonna be tough.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta think about the backups too
And
in a fight like this.
And you're gonna have a Gyarados too, which is good.
So you're officially going Isaac?
Yeah, I think I gotta go with Isaac. I think
I disagree.
You have a better starter to send out right away, but I think he's got a solid base of Pokemon.
My question is, like, what does he have to counter my Alakazam?
I mean, Alakazam is similar to, like, Gengar. He's fast and can deal a lot of damage, but, like, once you hit him, like, it's easy to take him out.
It is, but he also just blasts through everything too.
Yeah.
It says Alakazam is weak only against Dark, Bug, and Ghost.
Yep.
However,
And poison.
Flamethrower with fire hurts them decently.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad move against them.
Yeah.
I think Ice Beam hurts him as well.
Yeah, and like another thing too is like he doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, but he's not like strong against like he He doesn't have a lot of resistance against a lot of things.
Okay, so now it's my turn between Isaac and Brian. I made my decision a long time ago. And I'm picking Brian because I don't think Isaac has a counter for Zapdos, other than Aerodactyl.
So you think the 1 is better than my
Well,
full lineup?
Hear me out. Zapdos is going to take out Charizard, Articuno, and Gyarados.
Oh, yeah, because he has all flying type.
And if you start out with Zapdos, what do you have to take it out?
Zapdos is weak against ice, too.
It is.
Who's
So-
faster, Zapdos or Articuno?
Isn't it Zapdos?
I don't know.
Zapdos is like the fastest
It has to
Pokemon.
be the electric guy.
It's like he's like the fastest type, which is why Zapdos is like one of the best electric types to have and have him as a starter because he's so fast. So Zapdos, that's the big kicker here. But there's also the 2 tanks of a Lapras and a Snorlax on top of a Zapdos. And then Gengar just gives you versatility. Doesn't really help you with... I mean, there's a mutual or same edge with Venusaur. I'm trying to think Clefairy. What is Clefairy? With Steel. If you throw in your Steelix, that'll help with the Clefable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Brian simply because Zapdos.
Clefable is only weak against Poison and Steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and
You have a Gengar and you have Steelix.
like in that first generation of games, Clefable was tough to beat because they didn't have fairy type back then.
Yep.
So,
Well, Fairy is superior to normal.
Jigglypuff
Jigglypuff.
is the other fairy.
Is it Fairy? I thought it was normal. Or no, this is the Fairy normal type.
Fairy normal.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But Clefable is just Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought was Jigglypuff, and I'm like, wait, I'm pretty sure. Chansey's the other one. I'm like, I thought they would actually make
Chansey's
it.
normal.
You thought I thought they would make them
Yeah.
Fairy, but I think they're just like, no, we're not gonna make every pink Pokemon Fairy. Let's make this one normal.
Well, dang. So is this a 3-way tie?
Yep.
It is a 3-way tie.
Guess we're gonna have to pull it out.
I think we're gonna have to pull it out. All right, we'll pull it out. We'll put the 10 list, and we'll make it a thing. All right, for everyone listening, go to Don't Involve Me, the Facebook page. I would say go to Twitter, but Twitter is dying and/or is dead. I don't know. So on our Facebook page, we're gonna put up a poll. Who wins? Bryzik. That's you guys' couple name. Brian, Isaac, or me, Jake. Who do you think is the winner? Let us know. And thanks for listening. All right, we're out.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
Yep.
I was gonna thank you guys too. I did forget.